Welcome to another episode of PhD Journey with me. Today, I want to talk about why PhD journey is a lonely one, but it need not be like that. Many PhD candidates often think that they cannot talk about their research project with many people. They likely think that many people wouldn't understand the grand details of things, and so that they only discuss it probably with only supervisors or maybe people within their field. But as a result of that, eventually after several months or years, they eventually became very lonely in that journey. So I started off like that as well. The past 1 year has been really lonely for me from academic perspective. Only my supervisors knew about my research, because I send them drafts for review, but that also they are reviewing in terms of the structure, the flow, not so much of the content, because content wise it is entirely my responsibility to frame my agenda, to angle things, and it's my sole responsibility to ensure that the information that I have is the accurate information and I'm citing the right people. So it is so lonely, and I got really frustrated. So I got an academic coach a couple of months ago. Her name is Tina. She's an amazing lady. And because of the coaching sessions with her, I realized that being the extreme extrovert that I am, I lack of motivation because I'm feeling very lonely. I realized that I've always thrived in discussing ideas with other people. I do well in a team environment that when many people provided me input and I can make decisions based on input by others. So this entire PhD journey goes against my instinct, my natural instinct to want to bond and connect and discuss with people. Therefore, I created this page, and hopefully this project would help bridge that gap where I'm still able to discuss a certain level of my research with many of you out here. And I'm hoping for you to provide me any feedback that you can provide. It can be as little as just providing moral support, or if you understand the framework that I'm going through, then you can also just debate with me about it and ask questions. So any form of interaction would be good for this extreme extrovert person I am. So thank you very much in advance. Okay, so I'm going to discuss with you in detail the theories that I'm using for my research. So why I would like to start with theories is because I think every research hinges on a certain prominent theory and contribute towards expanding it. So therefore, I think this is the best place to start, because I need to have more discussions with people about these theories that I'm using, its commonalities, and how relevant it is to my paper. The three theories that I'm using are Peter Sanjay's the learning organization theory, and then the second one will be Nonaka's dynamic theory of knowledge creation, and then Carl Jung's Jungian's trait theory, mainly for the MBTI model, the Myers-Briggs type indicator model that I'm using to typecast the personality traits of employees. So why these three theories? Initially, I was just mainly harping on Nonaka's dynamic theory of knowledge creation, which links towards his SECI model, SECI, the socialization, externalization, internalization, and combination model. So, but then it expanded over the months. Instead of just Nonaka and SECI model, it expanded to, of course, bringing in the MBTI model to test personalities of employees, and then it expanded to a core a grounded theory of learning organization. So Peter Sanjay's theory came in, and I became a little bit confused at one point because one of my supervisors also advised me to look up Chris Edgery's the organization learning culture. And that part, the single loop, double loop learning from Edgery's, got me a little bit loopy in many ways, because I couldn't find a way to link it to the other theories that I'm using. So as a result, I wasted like maybe 3 to 4 months of diving deep into single double loop learning concepts, and then I have to be brave to say that no, I have to cut that out of my paper entirely. It is really messing me up. So now I'm sticking to these three theories, mainly Peter Sanjay's the learning organization theory. I resonate with it very much because I open my framework with organization learning culture and how emotional support and peer collaboration is a strong element of the organization learning culture framework that I'm proposing. So Sanjay's learning organization theory is so relevant because of his 5 stages of development, and the team support, I think it's called team learning. The team learning stage is where I'm going to plug in my contribution, where emotional support and peer collaboration as part of organizational learning culture is important. And the next part would be on Nonaka's dynamic theory of knowledge creation, and with the SESI model that I'm applying into my research. The SESI model will contribute itself in the way of the socialization, internalization, and externalization context, because as we interact with people, we go through that spiral loop stages where we first socialize and we internalize the knowledge that comes in, and then we externalize them again to other people, and it is a spiral process of creating, transferring, sharing of knowledge. And this part also resonates quite well, it's sitting really well with me right now, mainly because my contribution in the socializing quadrant is strong, again with the emotional support and peer collaboration variables that I'm plugging in. And then on the knowledge transfer as a mediator towards job performance, so I'm using knowledge transfer as a mediator, and that part resonates well as with me by using Nonaka's theory, also because Nonaka's theory involves explicit and tacit knowledge. So explicit knowledge are knowledge that is literal, knowledge that you can pass over to your colleagues on a pen drive, or like a recipe that you can write down and pass it on and people can just follow. That's explicit knowledge. Tacit knowledge are the unspoken thing, like some experience dealing with certain sales account, or experience dealing with certain big stakeholders, what are his likes and dislikes. Tacit knowledge can also be that the gut feel instinct of when to make certain decisions, why certain people make some decisions that way. These are experiences and knowledge that lies internally within the knowledge holder that is difficult to transfer. So Nonaka's theory talks a lot about tacit knowledge, explicit knowledge, and this is one of the main area I'm interested in exploring as well, like part of the organization learning culture. How do we encourage more knowledge transfer, both tacit and explicit, but how do we encourage the knowledge to transfer better? And when we talk about knowledge transfer, it links to employees' behavior. We are all human beings in an organization, right? It's not robots transferring knowledge to robots, computer to computer only. It's human beings to human beings. So naturally, when we deal with human beings, their personality trait, their characteristics come into play. So that is where the Carl Jung's the trait theory comes in. It is to support the phenomena of this proposed framework, acknowledging the fact that employees as individual human beings comes with different personality traits, and because of their different personality traits, it is another mediator towards employee job performance. So I have 2 mediators. I'll show you at the end of this video my framework. I have 2 mediators: knowledge transfer and employee personality traits. So these 2 mediators should work beautifully hand in hand to play a role between organization learning culture and employee job performance. So in short, I'm using the MBTI, Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, to typecast employees, and I'm using Nonaka's theory, the SESI model, to draw a framework of knowledge transfer as a mediator. And I'm using Peter Sanjay's the learning organization theory to support my organization learning culture story. So there you go. I hope it has been explained accurately. I hope people understand. So what I need is maybe you can ask me more questions to drill me more about these frameworks and these theories that I'm working on. Maybe you can also connect me with people you know who is working in the area revolving these particular topics. I would love to speak to them as well. And just offer general moral support. Thank you so much, guys. See you tomorrow in another episode of PhD Journey with me.